In this lecture, we are going to see how we can navigate between the screens. So for example, if you remember, I told you we can navigate through the URL in the web. But on mobile, it's also the same, but using different concepts. So we don't have like that link, href, and etc. We have here some different way. You need, for example, to create a button, let's say in the home screen, which will navigate and take me to the detail screen. So for that, first of all, we are going to have the sub button inside the home screen. So let me go to the home screen, and then inside the view, I am going to call a component which is called pressable. And this pressable component is like a button. And with this button, you can press on it, and then you will have some click event, which you can do anything with it, like navigation to another screen. So calling the pressable component, we can call it under the home screen, or we can say directly like here, we can say pressable component. I'm going to call it and then close the tag again. And inside this pressable, you can specify the text which you want. For example, navigate to detail. So you need to call the component which is called text inside the pressable. So it will have that button as well. So let's say here, okay, as you see, we have navigate to detail button. We will see how we can style it later and make it as really as a button. So this pressable has a property, and this property, or the properties in general, we put them after calling the component and before we close the tag of calling that component. So the component or the command which we need to call is called onPress. Press with, or P is with capital letter. And onPress, then you can call a function. And this function can do for you the job which you want to do. For example, I am going to say here, like onPress, do for me a function call. And this function call will return for me the thing which I want to do. So it's like a callback. So for example, you can console log something. So I can say here console.log, and then you can put a message, I am pressable, something like that. And then we save, go again to our application, or we can open Metro as well. And as you see here, we have like the old errors. So sometimes also it's logging the errors, which we see here as well. So when I click on navigate on screen, I'm getting I am pressable, as you see, exactly how I did in the console log. So then in that way, I can execute what I want here. So what we need to execute is navigation to another screen. So for that, you can put all of this function to not have very long code here. You can put it in a separated function. So you can cut the part where you have the callback, the arrow, and then the content like this. Let's cut it all. And on press, it will be a function. So we can call this function navigate to detail, for example, something like that. And navigate to detail, it will be a constant defined above or inside the home screen, it doesn't matter. So you can define it here, let's say constant, and then navigate, you can say to detail, and this will be a function where you can as well define it and place your code here. So you can say console.log, and then I am pressable. So we have it like that. So let's again check it after we extracted that constant out. So I will go to open the terminal or Metro. I will click OK, it's executing. So for that here, I can do something which is called navigate. So how we can do that? First of all, in the home screen component, we have this call function. So because home screen actually is a function as we saw before. And this function now, or this component or this screen, has a parameter as a callback, which is called navigation. And this navigation has already some built-in functions, and those functions will help me to navigate to another screen. So I can remove this console log, and then I will say navigation dot navigate, exactly like this, and then you specify the name of the screen which you want to navigate to. So for example, in our application, we defined a name for the other screen which is called detail. This is the name which you need to specify. So this name must be unique for every screen. So it's like the page name. So I will have here the detail. So I will say navigate for me to detail screen. So now when I click on this button, I am navigating to detail screen, as you see, and here I am on home screen. So when I click on navigate to detail screen, I have here like I can go back to the home screen, which is coming by default with React Native navigation. So as you see, I am going back to the home screen again. Here you are getting an error, and this because we are using TypeScript. So as a solution for this error, you can give it a type. This is saying that the problem that implicity has any type. So you can say, okay, this is like we need to give a type for it. So for example, I would say this navigation has type of, you can say navigator or some type, which is specific so we can easily see what are inside those navigation or this navigation object. It has multiple methods. One of them is navigate. But as a beginner solution, let's say I can make something like this. So we have this object, and then I can say, okay, you don't have to give it a type. We can give it a type like implicity. So we can say here navigation again, and we say this navigation has type any. So in that way, okay, the error is gone, and we gave type any to this navigation. At the end of this course, I am going to explain to you how to give a proper type after we do a good refactoring for our code. For now, to avoid the typing problem, just make it like this. So we say that this navigation object has a type navigation any. So in that way, I will be able to navigate to detail screen and go back. So this is all about the navigation. We are going in the next section to build the crypto list, which we get from the back end, and we will see the changes live on the mobile application. And when we click on one of those cryptos, we will go to the detail to see the detail of this crypto, exactly how I explained in the introduction of this course. So just a reminder, in the next lecture, I'm attaching not the whole project, only the codes or the files which got affected by our section. So apps and also the screens folder. So of course, after you build your application, you can open those files with any editor, let's say with Notepad, and you can check the code which we wrote. And also you can open with Visual Studio Code to see those files which you download from resources. So to keep on track with me, I am going just to upload the files which we got affected during our course. So this is the most important thing that I want you to know.